We'll start with Sarah Spencer.
Hey Nate, how are you?
Hey, Sarah.
In the last 2-minute report from Game 1, it showed that Giannis exceeded the time limit for some free throws in the final 2 minutes. Is that something you guys want them to kind of keep a closer eye on?
Absolutely. It's a rule that we want them to call. So the NBA announced that that should have been called, and we hope that if that happens again, that it is called.
Chris Kirschner.
Hey Nate, I wanted to ask you about John's role this year. So the last couple of years, he's been 20, 25 points per game, and this year he's more in a different role. How have you thought of his adjustment to what you guys want him to do this year?
Well, he's been pretty much a pick and roll guy. I think that's what he was. He was used mostly last season. We are using him in a few other ways, posting up, spreading the floor with the combination of both he and Clint. They both are really good role guys. I think, his last couple of years, he's been the primary role guy, the pick and roll guy. They've been spreading, they were spreading their 5-man this year with Clint, being a really good pick and roll guy. We've been able to really take advantage of John's ability to shoot 3 by spreading him and still using him in the pick and roll. So pretty much just trying to take advantage of his skill, his ability to post up, his ability to shoot the 3 ball, as well as playing him at some 5 to allow both he and Trey to continue with that connection they have.
All right. Eric? All right. Joe?
Nate, just to mess around a little bit with free throw thing. Bud's point when we were pressing him on it was, if you put a stopwatch on every, time someone's in the paint longer than they're supposed to be, it doesn't get called every time. And if you he gave another example. The point is like some of these timing things, the calls just don't happen every time. What do you make of that, or what's your reaction to that? As far as there are a number of instances in other parts of the game where it's a timing situation and it doesn't get called.
Call it. I mean, he's right though. There are guys that are camping in the lane for 3 seconds, and sometimes that's not called. Just as he mentioned, on both ends of the floor, the offensive end of the floor, as well as the defensive end of the floor. And, what we have to do is try to bring that to the attention of the league, to the officials during the game, and hopefully they make those calls. It's the same thing with, the 10 seconds at the free throw line. So it's not called every time. And, the officials, sometimes they miss that, but we want them to be consistent with making those calls.
You're having the conversation with us, and there was a story today. Do you know if the Hawks had that conversation with the league? Do you expect it to be called tonight?
I won't talk about what we have, conversations we've had with the league, but this is something that I think, has been brought to the attention of the league, in the last couple of rounds.
Ben?
Coach, 2 questions for you. First, you had Monty Williams on your staff in Portland. Do you have any favorite memories from that time with him that sort of, his success in Phoenix that he's had kind of led to that? And then second, we heard from a lot of players last year seeking greater representation among coaches and executives. And do you see any significance that 3 of the 4 remaining coaches are former Black players?
Monty was a great assistant for me. I enjoyed working with him. He was a guy that I needed at that time with a young group. I needed that energy, from my staff, and he was a guy that we were developing at that time. So he was really the right fit for me working with him. And yeah, a lot of fun memories with Monty. We had a lot of success in Portland, and what he is doing now is really no surprise. He's a prepared coach that's been with a lot of systems, and he's a student of the game. So what he's doing with his team, really continuing from this summer, is really not a surprise. as far as the black coaches, being in the finals, there's a lot of good coaches out here. I think, I certainly believe that if given the opportunity and a roster that they can work with, they will show that they can have success. A lot of times you're getting rosters, whether you're starting over or a development roster that's going to take some time to build. You don't see many opportunities where we're getting these jobs where that roster is already in place, and you have to go out and with the expectations of winning. Normally you're kind of building that roster, and sometimes when that roster gets in place, you're removed, and someone else is filling in. So it's good to see guys get that opportunity, and it's a lot of good black coaches out here.
All right, Chris.
The other day, Travis said that John was the heart and soul of this team. Do you agree with that assessment?
I feel we've got a couple of those guys, and John is certainly a major part of this team, and me coming in this season, he's part of that core. I would say that, John and Trey and Dre, those guys are part of the core that I think the organization is going to build around for the future. So he's a cornerstone to the future of this organization. And, it's a good group, for as young talent with potential, I think, to go into the future with.
Steve.
Steve, want to go into discussions with the league, but during game one, when Giannis appeared to be taking a little too long in the free throw attempts, did y'all talk to the officials at that time to try to get a call at that point?
Again, I won't get into what we've talked about with the league, but we have the opportunity to send in plays and send in, things that concerns us that we felt was missed. We are constantly talking during the game, so during the game about, situations like that, so, again, the officials, they don't have a stopwatch. So, but it's something that we, want them, to look at, just as we want them to look at 3 seconds, and we want them to look at the contact, as far as how we're guarded, so, but I won't get into discussions about what we send to the league.
Okay, Jeff Zilgett.
I'm sorry, Nate. I asked Mike a similar question about the conversations he has with the staff. I'm going to ask you, what are the conversations like without whatever you can share about the defensive discussion about guarding Giannis? And is it animated? Do you have so many suggestions? Can you just take me a little bit?
No. No. I mean, he's a hell of a player, 2-time MVP. It's you're trying to come up with ways to defend him. And, you're talking about matchups, you're talking about, help, where your help is going to come from, things that you're trying to do. I mean, it's like preparing for any really good player in this league. You got a game plan, for him because he does so much out on the floor. He initiates a lot of their offense. He's in probably, I would say, 80 to 90% of their actions, even, if he doesn't have the ball, he's involved on the offensive end of the floor. So, and defensively, he plays 1 through 5. They had him at the 5 in our last game. So you have to game plan for him. And, I could say that the conversations are long.
All right, let's go out to Jamila Johnson.
Hey, Coach. I know previously you've said that you want the team to kind of black out that outside noise. And a few of your players have said they have a bit of that underdog mentality. What do you think about that as a bit of motivation for those guys?
Yeah, well, it's going to be difficult to block out, everything that's going on out there. And some guys don't want to. I think it's up to the individual how you deal with, this time. I personally try to block it out. Some guys get off of social media, during this time, and they just get locked into what they need to do. But some guys look for that as motivation, and they feed off of that. I've played with players who approach the game like that. I've been with coaches that goes and they search for, things that people are saying about them and things that they can't do. And, they feed off of that. That lifts them, that motivates them. So, that was a comment basically made to the team about, the guys that are important, or the message that is important is what's said in our locker room, because that is going to be the group. What everybody else is saying doesn't really matter. What we are saying and what we need to do is really what matters, because the guys that are in the room are going to be the guys that are going to get it done.
Thank you.
James Hill.
Coach Nate, when you look at your ball club, you see a team that's gelling, that's clicking on all cylinders, and still has a tremendous upside. Can you talk about this team and the brand of ball that you guys are playing, and it works and it's winning, and you guys are moving forward?
Well, I think we are showing a connection and showing growth on both ends of the floor, to the ability to defend at a high level, execute our offense, play a 48-minute game. I think these guys have done a really good job of being able to adapt to the game as it goes on. And they, have shown that they understand what they need to do going down the stretch, from, the first quarter to the start of the second half to the end of the game. And they've been able to do that. So just really a group that has shown maturity, a connection, a trust, belief, and what they're doing. And they believe that if they do what we condition ourselves, we train ourselves to do, we will give ourselves a chance to win games.
Nate, in closing, I know a superstar when I see one from the days back when I was a ball boy at Portland, sitting under that rim with Clyde and Terry, and you guys would come down from Seattle. When we look at Trey, he has all those attributes, and he's a player. Can you just talk about ice, and he's getting better every day?
He's a very talented player. He's a very confident player, and he has, a few different skills that, a lot of people don't have. His ability to continue to pressure a team by attacking them, his ability to stretch the floor, his ability to see the floor and pass the ball. He can shoot from deep. He has a mid-range game. He's an excellent free throw shooter. So when you have that many things that you do well, now it's just a matter of learning how to use all those weapons and those tools. And he's shown the growth of being able to organize his team, and while continuing to stay aggressive and play his game.
Our last one for Coach Pregame will be from Maria.
Hi, Coach. I hope you're well. You already talked about Trae Young, so I would like to ask you about John Collins and Kevin Huerter. How would you describe their job, their growth, their development in these playoffs, and the way in which they're helping these teams succeed?
That was Kevin and who else?
Kevin and John Collins.
Oh, again, both of them are showing growth on both ends of the floor. What I've really tried to do is, get our team to be two-way guys, not just, focusing on the offensive end of the floor, which most NBA players, they have a skill, and most of the time it's on the offensive end of the floor. Defensively, I think both of those guys have really, stepped up their game. Kevin certainly has done that. He's gotten the opportunity really a lot this season due to the injuries that we've had. He's had to start and guard some of the better 2s and 3s and guard point guards this season. And, we've really depended on him to take that step and take that challenge of becoming a better defensive player, because we lost DeAndre, we lost Cam Reddish. Those are two guys that are elite defenders, but we didn't have them for most of the season. And Kevin had to kind of fall into that role. The same thing with John Collins. John is a guy that we are playing him at the 3, 4, and 5, and he's had to guard, bigger players, smaller players. He just came out of a series where he was guarding Ben Simmons, and so in this series, he'll be on Giannis, he'll be on Middleton. We had him on Drew Holiday a little bit. So just the versatility that these guys have shown and the growth of being really two-way players has helped this team really develop and have some success.
All right. Thank you.